pamphlets about this lunatic asylum that's not too far away, where he keeps telling people that like there were all these inmates that they just let go free. The guards are filled with monsters. Healer Anja regularly drinks poison, not to die, but to save. Today, we're going to talk about my past, present, and future of books. What I've finished, what I'm in the middle of, and what we're going to get into. All right, so first up, recently I finished a book called The Swamps by Serafina Nova Glass. It follows the story of the two main characters, Macy and Ethan. They have a paranormal YouTube channel. They're starting to do pretty well at it, and they've gone down to this area in the swamps. I want to say it's in Louisiana, and there's been these missing girls there, and they don't know where they've gone. There's this weird like revival church too that thinks the missing women have gone missing because of like demons or something weird in that vein. And there's also this guy who likes to sit outside the revival and just kind of give out these pamphlets about this lunatic asylum that's not too far away, where he keeps telling people that like there were all these inmates that they just let go free, and they're possibly out there too. So maybe those inmates had something to do with the disappearances, or maybe they've just been living among them all this time. And this isn't the typical thing they usually work on, because they normally do paranormal and not so much true crime. I guess in the beginning of starting their channel, they kind of had maybe talked about true crime, but then they ended up going more paranormal. Ethan is really obsessive and super into this. And so they also have their friends who are a married couple that do their video editing and their camera work. So they're going to come down the next day to stay with them in this weird little cabin that they get. So they stay at this cabin that's owned by this woman of the swamps named Elma. Elma is quite the interesting character. Older lady, kind of rough around the edges. She also does tarot readings and such. And apparently there's like a local curse in the area and whatnot. I felt the book was interesting. It's a short little novella. I didn't absolutely love it. I thought there was a few things that left a few plot holes and whatnot, but I could see the potential for this to be really good. And it's one of those things where you read it and you're like, this author is gonna get better as they progress in their career. Like, this was decent enough to hold my attention, because I will DNF a book if I'm not vibing within like 5 pages. So the fact that it still held my attention, even though I was like, about a few things in it, good, not great. There's a twist. The twist was okay. It was kind of predictable. Like, you could sort of see it coming. And then there was a few things that didn't quite make sense, or some other stuff that should have been paid more attention to. But overall, it was a decent read. All right, so currently I'm in the middle of a lovely little book, and it is the second book from the We'll Prescribe You a Cat series. I guess it's a series now. Maybe it's just a duology, but this is We'll Prescribe You Another Cat. And I loved the first book so much. It's awesome if you like heartfelt, cozy books that have cats in them. Read We'll Prescribe You a Cat. I have a standalone review for that if you're interested. I'll link that down below. You can check it out. This one so far, I think I'm about 50 pages in. So there's this clinic that is, it's like a clinic for the soul, and those who need it find it. Like, if you don't need it, you won't find it. It's kind of got a little bit of a paranormal aspect to it. And the first story, because it's all these like little stories and they all seem to loosely tie into each other. The first story follows this woman. She's having like a weird time with her boyfriend. She kind of thinks maybe he's wants to break up with her because he's been super weird lately and kind of distant and all this stuff. She finds herself at this clinic and she meets Dr. Nikki and the nurse Chitose, and Dr. Nikki prescribes her a cat, which is like this Bengal cat. And she's never taken care of a cat before, and the doctor's like, all right, I want you to do this and pay attention to this. Keep a log of what the cat's eating and what's coming out and all that and this, that, and the other. And so she starts doing that. And somehow through having these cats, it just helps her emotionally and in all these different ways, where she's able to like start to say what she's meaning instead of like holding back and this, that, and the other. And these books have been really cute and cozy and heartfelt and so many things. So I'm sure I'll really like this one. I'm hoping it's as good as the first one. So far, I would say yeah. But like I said, I'm only like 50 pages in. So we'll definitely, I would say, have a standalone review coming for that in the future. So keep an eye out for that. Now, let me tell you what I'm going to get into, because I've absolutely been loving the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. This is the fastest I've been reading through a series in a while. Usually I'm very slow at reading through series, but I'm on book 3 already. We are going to start the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook by Matt Dinneman. This is the third book in the series. So I'm assuming with the title, so Carl in this, it's kind of like an RPG, video game, D&D style of book story. And Carl has been specializing in explosives. So the Anarchist Cookbook probably has to do with a lot of Carl's boom jugs and explosive-y things. So let me tell you what this is about. Welcome to the Iron Tangle. Carl and his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut, have to team up with other contestants. Not just to survive, but to solve a deadly puzzle. Earth has been transformed into the set of the galaxy's most watched game show, Dungeon Crawler World. A nightmarish, multi-level, video game-like dungeon filled with traps, monsters, and brain-melting puzzles. Carl and Donut have survived so far, but this fourth level is unlike anything they could imagine. The Iron Tangle, an impossibly complicated subway system tied together into a knot of trains of all kinds, from classic steam engines to sleek modern cars. The cars are filled with monsters. The railway stations aren't always what they seem, and the exit is perpetually just a few stops away. The top 10 list is populated, and Carl and Donut have made it. But that popularity comes with a price. They each now have a bounty on their head, and they must work with other crawlers to solve the puzzle of the floor. But how can they do that when they don't know whom to trust? The secret to unraveling it all may be hidden in the pages of a seemingly useless book. And wow. Yeah, I'm super stoked for this. And let's just tell you right now, this is the book I'm most excited to read. Because I usually, in these videos, my recent reads, I'm always like, this is what I'm most excited to get back into, or what I'm excited to get into. This one, hands down. I'm loving this series so much. I love it. Okay, so next up, we got another T. Kingfisher book from the library, Hemlock and Silver. And I believe this is a Snow White reimagining. And I love T. Kingfisher. Recently, I just read the book Snake Eater. Awesome. I love that one so much. So let's tell you about this one. Healer Anja regularly drinks poison, not to die, but to save, seeking cures for those everyone else has given up on. But a summons from the king interrupts her quiet, herb-obsessed life. His daughter, Snow, is dying, and he hopes Anja's unorthodox methods can save her. Aided by a taciturn guard, a narcissistic cat, and a passion for the scientific method, Anja rushes to treat Snow. But nothing seems to work. That is, until she finds a secret world hidden inside a magic mirror. This dark realm may hold the key to what is making Snow sick. Or it might be the thing that kills them all. And so I do love a retelling, and I love T. Kingfisher, and so we'll see how this goes. The last retelling that I read by T. Kingfisher was Thornhedge, and I love that book so much. It's so good. Toadling, the character in that, oh, so sweet, so cute. If you haven't read Thornhedge, I do have a standalone review for that, so I will link that down below if you want to check that out. So yeah, as I said, most excited to read the third book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I need to know what Carl and Princess Donut, what's happening with them? What have you been reading recently? Let me know. I'm always curious. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.